Welcome back from the break, everyone. I am so excited to bring to you the second part of today's business meeting, which is our ring reporting from our ring chairs and co-chairs and the MBEIC chairs. So some people say, what is a ring and what is the purpose of a ring? We are fortunate that we have a ring structure at CVMSDC. Every council does not have a ring structure. Our ring structure was created because of the large footprint that we cover, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. And because of the large footprint, we wanted to have smaller working groups to be able um, to work with the council and help us to execute our plan. So the rings have four real purposes. Um, in addition to just being our extra arms, we only have 7 people in the corporate office, as I said. They are our extra arms, our working arms. And so the 4 main focuses for the rings are to share opportunities with the MBEs. Corporations lead the rings. So you have a corporate chair, a corporate co-chair. Then you have an MBEIC chair, an MBEIC co-chair. That's the voice of the MBEs. And then you have a secretary. That's the general setup of a ring. And so they share opportunities with each other. They come together once a month or quarterly, however often they have their meetings set, to share opportunities with each other. They help plan events. So if we have a major event coming about from the council, they help plan those major events as well as local events. They actually help raise dollars for the council, and they promote the council. They help to bring in new members to the council. So it's a great way for a corporation, let's just say a corporation in the upstate or in the Piedmont Triad region, to come to the table and share opportunities with our MBEs and get involved with the council. So that is the purpose of the council. So now what you're going to hear from our 6 different rings. The Piedmont Triad are going to report out together. We're going to hear 5 reports today from the leadership of those rings. And we're going to start out with the Metrolina ring. I'm going to bring Kim Gardner, who is our corporate chair from Turner. And I'm going to bring Derek Davis, who is an MBE, to the table. So if you can come on down, Derek and Kim.
Thank you, Dominique.
There you go. All right, I'll leave you all here. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kim Gardner.
And I'm Derek Davis.
And we represent the Metrolina ring. We are fortunate to cover the Charlotte region with a lot of our corporations and MBE partners representing the industries of financial services, healthcare, construction, and other professional services. Derek and I are supported by an awesome team that comes together and collaborates on the events that we plan for our local region. James Hamlin collaborates with me as the corporate chair. We also have Anna Sai, that is our MBIC co-chair. Our secretaries are Marguerite and Leslie. And this year we decided to expand to also have a social committee, and Chef Maria Kemp has been that light to carry the social aspect of our ring. Derek, you'll take the highlights.
Yeah, some of the highlights of 2021. At the end of the year, we had our first in-person social. We went to Topgolf, and it was a great event. As you know, with COVID, we hadn't seen each other in quite a while, so we were able to get out and see one another and fellowship and have a good time. Some other highlights was that we were able to make the transition to a virtual environment, and we had over 6 meetings, and we covered a wealth of information that enriched our ring. Next, please.
A big part of our ring is, supporting our MBEs in their development. We wanted to highlight the graduates of council programs, so the Sunoco Leadership Program, as well as the University of Richmond. So these are our local MBEs that have taken the time to invest in themselves and to make their business better.
And as an MBE that has gone through University of Richmond, Tuck, and Sunoco, I can't speak enough on how valuable a resource that is in development of MBEs.
So when we got together to plan for 2022, we really wanted to hone in on 3 main goals. Continuing to foster the relationship locally between our corporations and MBEs, Also help our MBEs grow their business acumen and professional development, and of course, promote that social interaction, because as you know, coming off the last 2 years, we really haven't been able to interact in person, and really wanted to bring that back because we felt that that was an integral part of the relationship building between our corporations and MBEs. So we kicked off this year with our first ring meeting in February. We took a hybrid approach to invite some individuals in person, but also allow people to still join virtually. It was hosted by Bobby Robinson with Nexon Pruitt, gracious host to talk about the services that they provide and how they can support MBEs from a legal perspective. But we also had Bernadette Harris talk about her business as our MBE spotlight, and give us some tips on tax preparation moving for this year, as we build upon what was done last year with the changes in tax policies.
Yeah, and that is a component that we're adding to our meetings to kind of carry on with the professional development and the development of our executive presence. There are several pains that all MBEs receive, taxes being one of them, and we want to make sure we're able to give some guidance and also highlight some of the MBEs that provide certain services, because there's definitely a synergy between doing business with laterally within our ring.
So what you can expect from us for the rest of the year, we are combining forces with the Piedmont Triad Ring for our April ring meeting. So that will be completely virtual, featuring with our corporate partner. We're also planning 2 socials, one for the spring and one in the winter. And then we have 3 other ring meetings around the main events that the council will be doing. So these dates will also be featured on the CVMSDC website. If you want to reach out to any of us to make sure that you are informed, we'll be glad to do that. And now we'll transition to the Midland ring to give their presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. All right. I'd like to first start off by introducing our leadership team for the MLP ring. We have our corporate ring chair, which is TJ Watkins with Enterprise Holdings. We have me as the corporate ring co-chair with Savannah River Nuclear Solutions. We also have our corporate ring secretary, which is Aisha Driggers with the city of Columbia. We have Ron Harvey, the MBEIC ring chair, and he's with Global Course Strategies and Consulting. And then we have Tracy Richardson, who is the MBEIC ring co-chair with Lilies of Charleston. So our MLP ring covers the Midlands, Low Country, PD, which also includes cities east of Columbia, South Carolina, and surrounding areas. We currently have or serve a variety of industries, such as manufacturing, aerospace, automotive, general products, the government sector, in the surrounding areas of South Carolina. Next slide, please. Our highlights, basically, we have for 2021, I'll say, we have added new member to our leadership team, Aisha Driggers as the corporate ring secretary. And we also continue to host our meetings, our monthly meetings, to meet the needs of our MBEs and corporate partners. We also are really proud and excited about our new corporate partners that we've added on. SCRA, we have Star Electric, the Citradel, and South State Bank. We've also have been excited about adding 20 new MBEs to our ring. And within those MBEs, we have had 3 of our MBEs that completed the TUC program. So we have Karen Jenkins with KRJ Consulting. We have Vanessa Vaughn Matthews with Asphalis Advisors. And we have Ron Harvey, our very own, with Global Core Strategies and Consulting. So our highlights for 2022 now, we're always looking forward to new growth and growing our ring. We also, just like last year, partnering with rings to offer more visibility and access. We also have a couple of leadership positions that are coming up available for 2023. Our corporate ring chair and our MBEIC ring chair. Next slide, please. So we have some pretty exciting things planned for our upcoming meetings. We have, as far as for April coming up, we have our industry with corporate partner panels. May, we're going to be discussing intrigosity, which is intrigue plus curiosity. It's an elevator pitch. And what problems your companies basically can solve. June, we have the QuickBooks, and then we have a ring collaboration for July and October, and then we have for August and December, we're not having a meeting in order to support the BOC and the MBE Summit. And then at the end of the year, November, ring social event and matchmaking. So on that note, we'd like to just welcome everybody to join our community anytime and connect with our corporate and MBE members through our monthly meetings and any networking events that we have scheduled. Our goal is to create an environment that fosters solid relationships and provide growth opportunities within this CVMSDC, South Carolina, and surrounding areas. We would like to thank our corporate and MBE members for their continued support. We look forward to serving each of you better every year. And we also are always open to the best ways of how to do just that. So thank you again and have an awesome week. Next up is the Piedmont Triad Ring. Andrea Horn.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm Andrea Horn, and I am the chair for the Piedmont region of our ring. And the Piedmont region is going to include Raleigh, Durham, and the surrounding areas. And we also have Derek Jackson with Reynolds American, and he is chair for the Triad ring. And this includes Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and the High Point area. This year, for the Piedmont ring, Annette Taylor with the NC Education Lottery joins us as co-chair. And for our MBEIC chair, we have Troy Roberts with APC. And in the Triad, we've got Cynthia Barnes at Guilford County Government, and she is our co-chair. And Alex Moore joins us for the Triad MBEIC chair position. We've got 3 open positions between the Piedmont Triad ring. So we are currently looking for 2 MBEIC co-chairs, one for the Piedmont and one for the Triad. So just a few responsibilities of that position. You're going to work closely with the MBEIC chair to direct the council on how to best deliver value to MBEs and advocate for issues related to minority business development. You must be an owner of an MBE to be an MBEIC co-chair. So we welcome you to join us. Please reach out to Troy or Alex if you're interested in this position. We also have a secretary position that's open. I did this role for many years, and it's a fun role to be in. You're going to help the leadership team of the ring plan meetings and events and just keep us moving forward. Next slide, please. So for some of our 2021 highlights, we hosted 9 joint Piedmont Triad ring meetings. And we partnered with CVMSDC to increase corporate and MBE memberships. We had 22 new MBEs in the Piedmont and 3 new corporate members. And in the Triad, we had 4 new MBEs and 1 new corporate member. We had several MBEs that graduated from development programs from the University of Richmond and the Sunoco Leadership Program. And those are on the slide, and I'm not going to read those to you. Next. So for our plans moving forward, we really want to facilitate impactful ring meetings and plan and host several in-person social and networking events. We want to help CVMSDC increase the number of MBEs and corporate partners. And to do that, we're planning quarterly meetings this year instead of meetings every month. So we had a meeting in January. Our corporate speaker was Carolina Community Impact, and Joe Battle and Frank Del Villar joined us and talked about programming and the financial services offered by Carolina Community Impact and also Kiva Loans. We'll have a second quarter meeting, as Kim mentioned, with the Metrolina Ring. We'll do a joint meeting with them. And then we are planning a social event for the second quarter, either in late April or early May at Drive Shack in Raleigh. And in the third quarter, we will have a meeting in July. And in the third quarter, we are planning a networking and business expo in conjunction with Guilford County. More to come on that. And then we've got a fourth quarter meeting on October 20th. And then we are going to plan a social in early December. Next slide, please. So I welcome you to connect with us. Here you've got our email addresses. We would love for you to join us if you're interested in being an MBIC co-chair or secretary. And we also, please reach out to any of us on how to get involved in events. And oh, I see Dominique, she left a note that says that she owes the Piedmont Trad a group meal. So we haven't been able to meet in person in quite some time. So we're looking forward to getting together in person soon. And we will let you know more about that. So now I'm going to turn it over to Jerry Knighton, Corporate Chair of the Upstate Ring.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Jerry Knighton, and I represent the Upstate Ring. Our ring comprises 10 counties in the upstate of South Carolina, right along the I-85 corridor. We represent manufacturing, distribution, logistics, technology industries in the upstate. We have a very strong automotive and aerospace component with a number of companies who are headquartered in the upstate. That is supported by a very robust group of higher education institutions, which includes our technical college system that exists to support and provide education and training for those who are engaged with the corporate partners that we have in the upstate region. Our ring actually meets on the first Wednesday of each month at 11 o'clock. And so we encourage others of you who would like to join the Upstate Ring meetings to join us. We always like to say that great things happen in the ring. And we've seen that over the course of the last year, where deals are made, introductions are made, networking takes place, and opportunities abound. So again, we encourage you to participate in our ring meetings. Next slide, please. So to take a look at our leadership, again, myself as the Upstate Corporate Chair, representing Clemson University as part of the Upstate region. We also have Crystal Doherty, who is our secretary, She represents the Greenville Technical College system. Our MBEIC chair is Carlo White, who is principal with White Holding Trucking. And we also have our MBEIC co-chair, Karen Knuckles, who represents Express Employment. And so that is our leadership team. Again, we're happy to have very strong corporate partners in the upstate, as well as our MBEs who support our efforts and activities. Next slide, please. So to talk about some of the things that we've done over the past year, as many have already mentioned, a lot of our meetings, or all of our meetings for the most part, have been virtual due to the pandemic, but we've been able to, through the corporate hosts that host our meetings on a monthly basis, have some dynamic speakers and spotlights. Typically what we try to do is have our corporate hosts provide someone within their leadership or someone that they feel our group needs to hear from to speak and be a featured speaker. And then we also try to spotlight each month an MBE. And so in the year of 2021, we had BMW in January. We had Cindy Ashton, who is a TV host, to inspire us, I'll put it that way, to march into 2021. In February, we had Hubble Lighting, and our featured MBE was DataSoft Technologies. In March, we had Milliken, and our featured MBE was IG Custom Printing. Again, wanting to make sure that we're spotlighting those MBEs that can provide service to our corporates. April, we had Clemson University. We talked about the Men of Color Summit, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. James White Enterprises, which is a construction company, was our MBE spotlight. May, we had Denny's, and they had one of their primary suppliers, Smithfield Foods, to engage with us. Very informative meeting. In June, we had Rico Digital Services, who is actually a NMSDC corporate member. They came in and talked to us about some of the offerings they provide. And we had HIT Services that does interpreting services in the upstate as our MBE spotlight. In July, we had South Carolina Procurement Technical Assistance Center come in and do a presentation, again, providing technical support to MBEs, and we thought that was important. We also had our MBE spotlight, who was Chef Maria Kemp with Beyond Decadence to provide a presentation for us. We had JTech in October, and our MBE spotlight was Legacy Wealth Management. So again, you can see from the presentations that we have at our rings, we are providing value and support for those who are participating. November, we had Greenville Technical College, and they provided great information on opportunities, and not only at the college, but professional development opportunities for MBEs as well. And then we ended the year with a holiday celebration. This was the first time in over a year that we were able to get together in person, and we had a holiday celebration, not only to celebrate the end of the year, but also to recognize one of our own, Louise Connell, who was retiring at the time from BMW. Of course, Louise actually was our corporate chair, and whose shoes I'm still trying to fill. But again, we wanted to recognize her for the wonderful work that she's done over the years. January, we started out the year with Floor, had a wonderful presentation from them. And then February, Milliken graced us with a presentation. And we actually had Ron Harvey with Global Core Strategies and Consulting, our MBE Spotlight. So our MBE Spotlights don't necessarily have to come from the upstate. We've invited MBEs from other regions to also come and share information with us. What are we planning for 2022? Well, we want to continue the work, our meetings throughout the year, making sure that we're fostering MBE to MBE business opportunities, as well as those with corporates. We also want to support local, regional efforts that are taking place within our footprint. Clemson has its annual Men of Color National Summit, and along with a women's roundtable pre-summit. That's going to take place April 21st and 22nd. Again, CVMSDC has always been a sponsor or an exhibitor at that event. Again, this is part of our efforts to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. And so there will be several high school and college students who will be in attendance during that event. And we provide them with information from the council. And then lastly, we also want to support, as we have in the past, the BMW Supply Diversity Conference, which will take place September 1st. And so again, we're excited about this new year. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity for us to engage with each other in person, but for the time being, we'll continue our monthly virtual format. And again, as I always like to say, great things happen in the ring, and certainly great things have happened in the upstate ring. So at this time, I'm going to hand it off to Jeffrey Smith, who is going to talk about the Virginia ring and some of the things that they've been doing over the last 12 months. So Jeffrey.
Jerry, thank you. Thank you for kicking it over. So what I'd like to do first is speak to our ring leadership. We have Julia Rake from Capital One, who's our co-chair. We have Dallas Dance, who's our NBIC chair. And then we have Kipling Albright, who are NBIC co-chair. And I have to mention as well, Winnie Burchard with the University of Richmond, as well as Leslie Hughes with CVMSDC, as well as Larry Jones. They've been instrumental in helping us grow as well. So what I'd like to do now is get it over to Dallas so that Dallas can speak to the next two slides.
Thank you, Jeff, and thanks for the opportunity to be here today. One of the people I think has been very instrumental in the work that we do is Margolette Brown. So Margolette, thank you so much for the work that you do in supporting our ring, CVMSDC in general, but really the support you provide to Jeff and myself. We are very excited. The Virginia ring, we meet quarterly, knowing that everyone's schedule is busy. We try to maximize the time that we share with individuals. And so our first meeting of 2022 is kicking off next month. It's going to be April the 12th. We're going to do it in a hybrid format. I know the last 2 years and many of the other ring chairs, NBEIC chairs spoke to this. We've not been together. And so we're going to be spending the time April the 12th as a hybrid format. Jeff's been very kind to host us in the city of Virginia Beach. So we're going to see some water and have an opportunity to be together, but we're going to do it hybrid format where we'll be able to do both of those and be able to cater to multiple audiences. We do intend to spend the bulk of our time, though, in listening to, and one of the big goals of the Virginia ring this year is really getting back into hearing from our MBEs of what they need, where they're looking in terms of their pain points and how we can just sort of help them grow, but also re-engage those individuals who may not have been engaged with us in the previous 2 years. But one of the things that we're hearing very, very big is that individuals want to grow their business, and they want to grow their business through government contracting. And so through PTEC, the Virginia Procurement Technical Assistance Center, we're going to be hosting, how do you really do that? How do you partner with the government? And we're going to be spending about a good hour on that conversation. In addition, just like Jerry spoke about, we're also going to be doing MBE spotlights, and we're going to be highlighting Hampton Roads Credit Repair that's doing some phenomenal work. And we also, because we do like to partner with various ring colleagues of ours, we're going to be also highlighting Chef Maria from Beyond Decadence at our meeting too. At our upcoming quarterly meetings will be June 14th, September 13th, and November 15th. We're going to be determining the content, obviously, in our executive sessions that we have monthly. But for the Virginia ring, we really like to focus on quarterly meetings to make sure that we maximize the time that we spend with people. Next slide, please. So one of the things that I think that we're definitely going to be focusing on is that one of the things that we have done is we've had people who've gone through Sunoco and University of Richmond and Tuck, and I've actually been one of the MBs who had the opportunity to partner with the University of Richmond Executive Program. And so we listed for you some of the Virginia Ring MBEs who've had the opportunity to go through our 3 professional development programs. And one of the pieces of feedback that we always hear from MBEs who've gone through that is that they really enjoyed the opportunity to take a step back. Many times we are so focused on the work that we have, and some of our work that we do can be so tactical in nature. And so the strategy part, which I know many of us on this call, we do for a day-to-day basis, we don't have a chance to do that for our own individual companies. And so in hearing from our MBEs, whether they're going through Sunoco, U of R, or Tuck, they've had an opportunity to take a step back, strategize about what they want to see for their business, and really how do they see themselves in the next 3 years, let alone the next 12 months, which is critical for MBEs in order to be able to function appropriately, but really to be able to grow too. Next slide. And Jeff, I'm gonna kick it back over to you for this one, for our work plan for 2022.
Great, thanks a lot, Dallas. And obviously, we appreciate all the work that you're doing, having coming on and taking over from Vincent Tucker. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about our work plan, as Dallas indicated, we're trying to be strategic and meeting quarterly. And so as you can see on the screen, we've identified 4 areas that we're trying to have a strategy around our meetings, to focus on specific business sectors. And then within that, for federal, municipal, and corporate strategy as well. Then lastly, we want to have specific training that MBEs can gain some knowledge to grow their businesses. That is why we're here, to grow their business. And then facilitate corporate events whereby corporations get an opportunity to work with MBEs and get to know them on a personal level, and thereby hopefully to build a relationship so they can grow their business on a professional level. Next slide, please. Okay, for this slide here, it talks about our work plan. And again, this speaks to the industry that we're looking through, from the banking, higher education, which we have a wonderful relationship here in Virginia Beach, and the municipalities as well. Next slide. And we've been very fortunate, and I would have to reiterate what Dallas spoke about from the MBE perspective at Margolette and the work that she does here in Virginia. As you can see on the slide, we've been very fortunate to have grown an MBE portfolio, if you will, with 13 in 2021 and already 4 in 2022. And we've also grown 3 in the corporate area, and we'd like to thank Larry Jones from that perspective as well. So we're very pleased with the support we get from CVMSDC and the Virginia group, and we're very thankful. Next slide.
That's it.
Great. Thanks a lot for you all's time.
Outstanding job. Thank you all so much to our Ring leadership teams for bringing forth that information. As you can see from the reports, great things do happen in the Ring. And so I'm really excited about the work that all of our Rings are engaged in, the opportunities that abound for our MBEs and our corporate partners in the Rings. So now we have come to the end of the first 2 segments, and it is time for us to take a poll. There's a poll that is going to come up on the screen, and I'd like for everybody to please take part in the poll, and then we are going to take you to break. We're going to take you to break. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. So when we go to break, I need everybody to just set your clocks. You can say to your watch, put the alarm on at 4:30, and then it'll alarm, and then we can all be back here at 4:30 for our awards ceremony. We have some exciting awards for you this afternoon. I want to thank all those who've nominated individuals for awards. And so we want to celebrate the accomplishments of 2021 at 4:30. We will be brief. I think we'll be done by about 5:15 with the award ceremony. So come back at 4:30. You're in for a treat. So with that, I think that we're going to go to the poll. Is that going to come up next?
Polls have been launched.
Polls are launched. All right. Special thanks to the Capital One team for pulling all this together. And that takes us to break. Is that correct?
Yes.